Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to take a few deep breaths. I just went through all of my my chakra centers, and I have messages from each one. I have the Metatron information for this morning, as well as a message of the day and the twin flame read in front of you. There's no union read today. And so let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths first. Sending lots of love out to you guys. Thank you guys for being here with me. I so appreciate you. It looks pretty beautiful outside. It's a nice sunny day. Maybe some odd sounds outside. The squirrel's actually eating the seeds right now. They're so funny. Okay, so I want to go through the chakra system first that I got messages for. So I was just meditating on each chakra. And so I first went into my little girl, and she was bringing up puppies. And my daughter just recently got a puppy. They're probably about 4 or 5 months old by now, but the energy was coming up around puppies in the root chakra. So maybe when you're little, whether you're allowed to have a dog or not allowed to have a dog might be coming up, as well as sick people were coming up in relation to puppies, right? Puppies always make people feel better. But also the sick pup was also coming up. So what comes up, what is that triggering for you regarding when you were really little? Dealing with sick people, puppies, or dogs. And dogs, they come up again at the throat chakra. And then the sick pup and what that means to you and what it triggers. The sacral chakra, what was coming up was just a plane that was passing over, which was bringing up in the sacral chakra, which is all about the sexual energy, creative energy, the birthing energy, was all about this too shall pass. The solar plexus, I had done a clearing with Chris Macklin this morning, and it was really good today. He had done it yesterday. But I was getting a lot of nausea as part of my clearing, which I don't usually. Like I might get yawning and burping and that kind of stuff, but I don't usually get nauseous. And I got really nauseous, but it wasn't just the nausea, it was the discomfort of the association of the nausea to where it was from. I did not like it all. Like I didn't want to be in that energy at all. And then what came up was a German man. And of course, war comes up with Germany and Hitler and all that kind of stuff, but also the Japanese were coming up in Pearl Harbor. But what I was getting is from the nausea, not only the wartime, but swallowing dirty air. So not only literally swallowing dirty air, but also the dirty information they would feed you. Okay, so that was very important. And this is important because dirt was coming up as, allow yourself to get dirty, to play in the dirt. It's okay, but don't eat the dirt, right? Don't take in the bad information. Don't take in the bad food, the bad air, right? Make sure you separate the wheat from the chaff in what you take in, what you breathe in. So again, nausea, and also avocado is coming up here. And I used to be able to eat guacamole when I was in college, but as soon as I got home, and there was no Mexican places to eat in Philadelphia at all when I got home from college. And eventually they had one Mexican restaurant that I was so excited to go to because they have such good Mexican food out in Arizona. And I went to have Mexican food and I ate avocado there, and I was like on the floor in a ball for I couldn't function for at least a half an hour. So ever since then I've had an intolerance to avocado. And so I recently put it into my juice in the morning to see if I could tolerate it already juiced, because it has very difficult fat to break down in avocado. And I seem to be doing fine with the juicing now, whereas before, I at least, even if I took some enzymes before I ate guacamole or something like that, I would still get that discomfort of an uncomfortable stomach, like nausea or stomach ache. So that was coming up in the solar plexus, nausea and the war, German, Japanese, Pearl Harbor, what does that bring up for you? And if the avocado comes up for you at all, please let me know in the comments as well. And swallowing dirty air, how does that relate for you in your solar plexus? And remember, your solar plexus is where you eat and digest, but it's also where your esophagus and your air tube come down together. And you know how sometimes when you get food in your windpipe by accident, it was that kind of energy coming through. That the tubes that are parallel to each other sometimes get mixed up, like to stay in your own lane. Like, I show you that picture in the Journey of Love deck that has the two people staying in their own lane with the space between. And I always say it's about just staying in your lane, because that space between is meant to be there, and the actual lane will become one, so you will be together. It's the same type of energy they're relaying to the two pipes coming down to the solar plexus. And this comes up again. This juncture I'm coming up is the quantum entanglement is in the solar plexus area, but also it's like a heart solar plexus connection right there, where you bridge, right? Because you have the this was coming up to, hold on one second. The diaphragm was coming up in the heart. So the diaphragm is very significant here in connection to the solar plexus, but also to the heart. And also that's where your hiatus is. People get hiatal hernias there, having difficulty swallowing. And also reflux is coming up all around that kind of stuff, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So still in the solar plexus, all about the wartime nausea and swallowing dirt, okay, and information that you feed you. In the heart, I was seeing a hand go into the valve, literally, and then manipulating the position of the heart and the valve in relation to the diaphragm. And then I was getting to do deep breathing upside down in order to just shift your heart slightly or the valve slightly if you have an issue with that. So you might want to try that. They were just showing me to lean over the edge of the bed if you don't have a device to be upside down in. And then and only do it if you feel safe to do that. Don't do it if physically you can't do that. And then the throat chakra was coming up as being connected to the root chakra about the puppies and sick people. And I was getting, for the dog, you say, speak, right? Because the dog can't speak to you. They can only bark. And I was getting right away my mother and my father, because my mother had Alzheimer's and eventually couldn't speak at all. And my father had dysphagia from his stroke, so he eventually couldn't speak at all either before they died. My mother for years couldn't talk, but my dad, at least for the last 6 months, couldn't speak at all before he passed. So again, they didn't have the opportunity to speak their truth because believe me, my mother spoke plenty her truth. She had no problem speaking her mind, but she wasn't speaking her true truth, her heart truth, that loving part of her that was shut down for whatever reason. She didn't have that opportunity, right, while she had it. Because, she had tried to kill herself when she was pregnant. And we never knew that. She never told us. So when she was still talking before her Alzheimer's got the best of her, she couldn't remember, she said, where I never would have asked her before, because she never volunteered the information to us. Only my sister knew for whatever reason or not. They were both going through that kind of thing at the same time, so my mom had confided in her, but she never told anybody. It was a big secret that she had held all her life, right? So it didn't interfere with the rest of her life. And so she hadn't spoken her truth. And by the time she said she couldn't remember what actually happened. Like, why did that happen? What did you do? Because no one has the details of what actually happened. But she said she couldn't remember. And then after that, it wasn't long after that, she couldn't talk at all. So she couldn't speak her truth about it, what she had been through. So my mother and then my father, who there was nothing wrong with his mind, he was just old and he was incapacitated because after his stroke, he fully recovered, but then he slowly declined over the years and ended up wheelchair bound again. And then with the dysphagia from the stroke, which got worse and worse, and then he couldn't talk at the end. So they both had this thing where we couldn't, you want to say speak to them like the dog, I want to communicate with you, but I can't. So that was coming up connected to the root chakra of puppies and sick people and the sick pup. So whatever that brings up for you, please let me know in the comments. Then the third eye, I was getting I was seeing a rock with a holder. It was like a fake rock. Like, you know, you'd put a rock to, you know, like they have key rocks and things like that. But it was a rock attached to what looked like Noah's Ark. I don't know, maybe someone has a Noah's Ark that has a rock on it. But I was getting this where you would place it in the ground, perhaps, that somebody had buried something underneath it, or literally on where that is in dirt, whether it's a plant or outside, that something's growing underneath it that you didn't expect. But there's something hiding underneath this. The clues about this was, again, the rock on a holder, but it was a curved shape holder, like a, kind of like a, it was a bowl, but it wasn't a round bowl. It was more of a oblong or ship-shaped bowl, like Noah's Ark. But also I was getting associated with this cookie cutters. And they were showing me the 3-leaf clover, the triangle, the circle, the star as cookie cutters, you know, and that can reference something that's the same as everything else, right? But again, this is the rock in this holder or in a ship that's in the dirt. We're just talking about the dirt, and something buried beneath it or growing beneath it. And that can be it doesn't have to be literal, right? It can be figuratively as well. So what is the emotion growing beneath it? What is the physical growth growing beneath it? But again, the cookie cutters. But they were also associating it with me because I was getting names. Like, I have trouble remembering names since I got hit by a car when I was jogging. So it's easy for me to remember simple names like Mary because that's been ingrained in me all my life. But if it's a complicated name that I wouldn't normally say or know when I was younger, it just doesn't stick in my mind anymore. But they were associating that to the same kind of cookie cutter things, you know, like Mark, Mary, all the traditional names, Matthew, Tom, whatever, you know, that's really easy it's the same as everybody else. And then they were referencing it to like my nephew's wife, whose name is very different and the spelling is different. And I still to this day have trouble remembering the name because it's different than what I'm used to. But it's, again, the cookie cutter cutouts, but it's being associated to the rock on the ship and whatever's hiding beneath it, whether someone's hiding something literally beneath it or something's growing beneath it you didn't expect, which might be exciting. And this could literally be something that's buried in your drawer with your cookie cutouts for your baking. Someone might be baking here. But again, Noah's Ark is coming up, the 2x2s, and the rock on the holder. And in the message from Metatron also, the Rock of Gibraltar came up here. The rock on the ship. And the QE2, I was just guided to look up the QE2 the other day because it hasn't been in use. They're using it in, is it Abu Dhabi? It's stationed somewhere as a restaurant or a hotel rather, but it's not in use anymore. So maybe that's coming up here too as that ship holder with a rock on top associated with the Rock of Gibraltar since it's English. There's something there. If you guys get something around that message, let me know also. So then we go to the crown. They were showing me the crown as literally a lamp, but they were first showing me the finial. Whether it's a pine cone finial, it didn't really matter what the finial was. They were relating it to the pine cone of the third eye, the pineal gland. And those are separate things, right? The pineal gland is the physical piece, and then the third eye is the energy center. So they're actually separate. They're not the same exact thing. The lamp with the finial related to the pine cone, and the tubular finial, right? Because it's like a channeling device to channel the light through the pineal using the crown to collect the light and funnel it, direct the light up to source like a lamp with a tubular finial that's open-ended at the top, or a pine cone finial they were showing me to associate the two together. That the fall is the coffin, right? The fall is when we start dying into the winter, which is dead. It was coming up as the same reference, that the pineal gland is referred to as the coffin of the soul, right? Where our soul is kept veiled so that we can't access all of our blueprint. So the fall is the coffin, and the pineal referring to then the cones, the pine cones of the winter evergreen, which is in the dead of the winter, but the evergreen never dies. It never goes dormant. The crown, the top, just like the Christmas tree, the topping on the Christmas tree always is sparkling and alive. So saying there's times when the third eye can go dormant, but not the crown. The crown is always open, and it's a place, and Spirit's connecting with me, for the light to funnel from your body and third eye in to go straight up to source. Your access to source is always there, even though your third eye might go dormant at times. So those were the messages that came up from the 7 chakras I went into. All right. So now we're going to go into the Metatron message, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's the Metatron message. That's the Metatron deck by Amanda Ellis. And whoever her illustrator is, you can look that up. I'm sorry, I'm not making one or the other less than. I don't have it in front of me. I don't think. Oh, yes, I do. Let's see. The artwork is by Jane Delaford Taylor. Okay? I wanted to give her credit too. But this is Amanda Ellis's deck. So the underlying energy is the underlying energy at the bottom of the deck is the wake-up call, which is number 11 in justice, but also the 11 of the alignment, which we were just talking about, the alignment of the 2 people and staying in their lane. But I go down 3. So the bottommost card was priorities, which is 52 of the Queen of Swords. And again, that's the picture that I call Big Bird, the way the bird saw me as the triangular rainbow with wings on it, which really cracks me up. But this, that energy was coming up as a masculine energy, right? Because in alchemy, the triangle is the change of the masculine, whereas the circle is the shape of the feminine. And that was coming up here. However, it was coming up with the Queen of Swords, the triangle, masculine, Big Bird, and the duality, excuse me. Was it the duality? Yeah, the duality of the circle, right? The yin-yang sign, the circle, was coming up with the King of Wands, which is the masculine dealing with their feminine energy in the circle and being out of balance. And then the feminine 52, the Queen of Swords, dealing with the masculine energy of the Big Bird energy, right? Being the rainbow structure, the triangle from your wings to your hips, basically. Working on your body and making sure everything's in order, very masculine thing. But the feminine dealing with the masculine priorities, the masculine dealing with the duality of the feminine, right? The more etheric bodies. And then the wake-up call here with number 11 to align yourself. So we go right into the first card, which is that Big Bird card. Let's see if it's on top here so I can... Where are you, Big Bird? There we are. So this is the Big Bird card I'm talking about, right? So the birds saw me as kind of like them because maybe they saw wings and then rainbow light, but I'm much bigger than they are, and they just see all this light. It's interesting to see. And also it was funny because Nat saw me as because the Nat's so tiny, saw me as I think I have it right here too. It's so funny, the humor they bring to us. It's really sweet. And I want to show you this because this is, sorry for those of you who saw this already, but it's significant because it keeps coming up over and over again. So the Nat saw me as this, right? Because when they're really close up to me, you know, they see me as huge. And if you look into the mirror close in your eyes, you may see a dragon-like energy when you look into yourself. That's why they bring up this dragon energy as the solar plexus, which is maybe another reason why I'm bringing this up there, because we were just talking about the solar plexus. So the dragon energy, which is also associating the yellow of the solar plexus with the golden light, the connection from the solar plexus to the golden light, right? It's bringing in the sparkle. It's raising its vibration to the nth degree, right? Because the golden light is above all the colors and the white, whereas the yellow is still in the lower chakra system. It brings in that little bit of sparkle there, like the top of the Christmas tree. Very interesting. But again, this is referencing the masculine energy because of the triangle and the wings, the structure of the body is very masculine energy, whereas the masculine is dealing with the feminine of duality. So again, the Big Bird energy was the first card out, and I wrote down Big Bird. I was getting, you notice that Big Bird starts out BI for both words, which is, you know, duality too. So by G is God, and then by RD, which is the road or path. So it's saying about duality. We are with a bi God, right? Masculine and feminine traits, and then the bi path, right? The choice of two paths, the Y in the road. The Queen of Swords is focus on structure and wings, whereas the King of Wands needs to balance their shape in duality, right? It's a little bit off balance. The Justice of the wake-up call, to listen and take note. Listen to your body and ask what it needs from you. Okay? Your body will always tell you. You just need to stop and be patient to listen. So then they were showing me the association between that and the two that came up together. Where did it go? Okay. So they came up like this, okay? So this is the feminine dealing with the masculine energy and the masculine dealing with the feminine energy. And you notice how this deals with the chakra system, but this also, you see the toroidal field here? Because the toroidal field is the two circles of the apple, right? With the flow between, the hourglass between where the funneled energy is, right? That's the implosion and explosion happening right here at the 0 point field in the toroidal field. So both of those are coming up. And also, I loved it because this card was underneath, and look at how the flow of the toroidal field feeds right into the lightning coming down into the winged one, using a shell to call out. Let me focus that in for you a little bit better, okay? So that energy goes right into the next card so perfectly as the lightning that's coming down. That can reference Archangel Michael. But also you can see it's just the relationship of the earth, right? The wings, the chakra system, the shell of the earth, the flow of the toroidal field that is associated with everything, including an apple, okay? So the masculine and feminine and the angelic vehicle of your body, right? It's like saying balance your masculine and your feminine before you start to speak your truth as your angelic self. So that was very cool, the way that was coming up. Okay. So again, the masculine, the feminine, and the human vessel calls the wings, and it was coming up as the wings and the lungs. Right, like the representation of the toroidal fields being the two lungs coming together with the energy in between, which is where the heart is placed in your body. Okay, so the wings and the lungs, which all surround your heart, are coming up as very important here. And also it's the wings of, releasing all the stuck energy in your body, and the lungs of breathing in very deeply the air so you get fully oxygenized, because we never, people who are working all the time and stressed, they don't breathe. And so that's why they become unhealthy, because they're never fully oxygenating all of the cells of their body. That's why that deep breath is really important. And that's why for jogging, it makes me feel good, because when you jog, it forces you to deep breathe, or any kind of exercise. So the first card was the Golden Gate Bridge coming out, which we've been talking about that card a lot this week as well, right? So that's where doesn't have to be Jesus, but because we're in the twin flame template, our templating is Jesus and Mary Magdalene, so it's a nice focal point for us, and Jesus is certainly happy to be that focal point, but it doesn't have to be. This is the God source energy of the golden light. It's showing like the Metatron rainbow bridge that leads directly to source from you. You are the master, you're connecting to the other side, and this is we of course need teachers on the way, but there comes a point when you can go out on your own and do it yourself, okay? So they wanted to remind you of that. Okay. So balancing your wings and lungs to enter the Golden Gate, or direct, it's a direct route to source, to exchange the golden light and the Holy Grail, which is the Holy Grail and the Holy Communion. So the communion is just the exchanging of light with yourself, the masculine with the feminine, feeding the light into the cup. The light that fills the cup, the water as well for your vehicle, your physical vehicle's emotional well-being, and then use your family to get your wish as the sun comes up, right? The fun energy that you connect with in your family, which it can be your biological family, but it doesn't have to be. And then get to your epiphanies when you've received the golden light and the water, make sure you drink the water in the morning and receive your light and receive your loved ones, replenishing each day, right? Making sure you're all in order before you extend your light to others. Review with the Divine Feminine, take a time out to reflect as your inner child and then also the mother, and be present and held. Then be the beacon and shine your light, grounding and integrating and receiving the love as the waves crash up against you. The Rock of Gibraltar was coming up here. The portal to the Golden Gate was what I was getting here. And again, there was a connection today to, is it Abu Dhabi or, anyway, wherever QE2 is docked. That was coming up as some kind of connection to the ship. There's something hidden underneath that ship, perhaps. But there's something about the portal, whether it's the Rock of Gibraltar or where QE2 is being docked. Meditating to clarify with the shadow and let go of the fall to winter, which is the release, to speak your truth before the winter, right? Because you're dead in the winter. You can't speak in the winter, right? Speak your truth, the key to your freedom, what lies beneath in the quantum entanglement and the entry wounds, the roots. See the family reflecting at each sunset and ending of each day in which you are held. So why do you always worry about ending so much? You have an ending every day, and you're always held in every day. You know, you always wake up, reset in the morning. At the horizon line, where the sea and the land meet the sky, and where the land meets the sea, is where the passion arises from within, inspired by the simplest things, like shells and messages in a bottle, freedom and communication, and birds flying in the air, the glow in the mystery of the stars and of it all. Or it's like feel your glow in the mystery of this great world that you're in, of the stars and the mystery of it all, to feel whole. All of the heart to fill and become inspired to experience it all. Archangel Sandalphon then comes up with you playing your tune. The Pied Piper, right? Sandalphon's a very creative energy. It's very soft and sweet. To play your tune, the Pied Piper, with an open heart and wings, and your instrument with strings to be manipulated and plucked, right? To adjust them, to make different sounds, to open the rose pink heart, bathed in aqua golden love by stretching and connecting and attuning to release your creativity with orange, which was my dad's favorite color, and he was an inventor, so he was very creative. So use your orange color to create, to release any pent-up energies. Channel it into your creation. Pause to receive healing, and then come together in joy. Complete with the Knight of Wands taking a leap to love with the Queen of Wands to come together in joy. And that was at 1041, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Cups. And I wasn't really expecting that message to come through. So, and by the way, the solar eclipse starts tonight. It's between 9 and 10, I think, in California, and it starts just after midnight, around 12:30 on the East Coast. That's the solar eclipse. As I lose my voice, eclipsing out our truth, perhaps. The first section here was, again, the Golden Gate and the Holy Grail, the beacon of light, the invitation to replenish and shine your light, right? Make sure you replenish with light and connect to source before actually putting it out there for everybody else. As the messenger of truth, two as one, locked in at the root, no matter what you see above ground. The second section is when you're alone, perhaps bathe with the dolphins in mind. Meditate with the lakes and the mountains and the moon, bathing yourself in the shower, perhaps in white light to clear the shadow, and then enjoy the sunset over the water to reflect with your ancestors. The third section here was the family and mothering, and the changes of season. Remember that the change of season is like the book binder, the articulation, what allows you to move things or make adjustments here. So it's saying when you get to the solstices and the equinoxes, it's time to articulate, right? So that's either speaking your truth or in some way manipulating changes by changing it around just a little bit, tweaking it. About the changes, articulate at the articulations, which is the solstices and the equinoxes. Or even that can be literal as the articulations in your bodies, like at your joints, your shoulders and your back and your hips, your neck, okay? maybe you need some adjustments now and then. So we have the, I did a little masculine. So what's the energy of the masculine today? It was very cute, actually, so I wanted to share it with you. And this was from the Wild Unknown Animals Spirit Guidebook. And so for the masculine, the underlying energy was coming up as the octopus teacher. Because I'd already pulled some cards for myself to see what my energy was coming up like today. And they were bringing up the feminines as being the teachers, right? I was first coming up as an elephant. And then also they were saying AKA zebra, which has their third eye activated. And the masculine was coming up as the peacock and the dolphin, right? Very friendly and, gets a lot of attention. So then I pulled for myself again, and I was getting the cobra teacher of the camel, the phoenix, and the lamb. And the phoenix is the root chakra, and the camel is very independent, and the lamb is very sweet. So these are already, pretty good energies. But then they were showing me the swans, as you come together, two as one, will then be teaching for the whale, the unicorn, the owl, the vulture, and the dragon, which are all very wise ones. They're elders. So it's a different crowd here. The underlying energy was the crocodile there. So then I pulled for the masculine here, the underlying energy was the octopus teacher. And remember, the octopus teacher, they die, number one, when they give birth. But they also have minds in their tentacles that are separate from their mainframe in their head. So they actually can act independently from each other. So here's the octopus teacher, right, who has their hands into everything. The fish out of water, though, it's like they're teaching. The octopus here is teaching the fish who are out of water. So it's like the younger energies. The cute little otter, right, very innocent, but perhaps, isn't mature yet. And then the gazelle with the cosmic egg, and the cosmic egg is the crown chakra. The side view was coming up for the masculine here of the collective awakening as opposed to the top down. And some refer to the top downs as the indigos who are very computer minded. That's a very different perspective of some of these new children coming in. They relate to numbers much better than to words or people, perhaps. But some refer to them as top downs. Very connected, kids who love to be on the computer all day, that kind of energy. So that was coming up as the masculine energy and the young. And then the lamb and the cobra are together watching with the gazelle. It's like they're all watching to see what happens with the masculine. What is he going to do? To see the shark, and this is so funny because it comes up as like a fight here. To see the shark deal with the crocodile nose to nose, like a boxing match type of energy, which is a very masculine thing. And the winner of the nose to nose, so I don't know if there's any sports stuff going on with rounds, right, where they have to go to the semifinals and the finals, but it's coming up definitely as that energy where the shark has a fight with the croc nose to nose, and the winner, which becomes the scorpion, right, their winner showing their tail, their stinger out after they win, then takes on the stingray. So then the scorpion's got their stinger out towards the stingray, but the stingray is turned on and plugged in internally, right? Their whole chakra system's awakened to the truth. With the bee becoming the butterfly, or in other words, the golden child, Muhammad Ali, speaking from the heart, right? I dance like a butterfly and sting like a bee, about the coming out of the chrysalis. So I don't know if he's telling his story or if somebody else is telling their story who may be related to boxing or something else. It was really weird too, because my daughter loves to box, and I'd gotten her as Muhammad Ali's mother a couple months ago, and that was really weird. But his mother died 2 years before my daughter was born, so that was very interesting. The shark is unplugging from the matrix to plug into the truth of the heart. The fox with the bunny and cheetah, it's like it came up in groups of threes here, where you like have one big and two littles with them to mentor, perhaps. So the fox was coming up with the bunny and the cheetah, which could be a cheater energy, is ready to pounce. And the bunny who's afraid of everything, which they're kind of polarized energies, and the fox being in the middle. And then the collective top downs with the lizards and the tarantulas, because maybe they identify with them better. The lizards are all about being at the Y in the road, and they have, or not the Y in the road, they have to do with, they have trouble in crowds because they have very delicate nervous systems. And then the tarantula is at the Y in the road. And then the swans or twins are coming up amidst the hawks and the camels. And this was at 11:11, where there's alignment. You know, the hawks are more spiritually aware. They're clearing the energy with no problem. And the camels are very independent too, but they might be a little blue. So literally the swans or twins are amidst those clearing the path, also for the independent moody blues, who may still be a little bit depressed, even though they're independent at this point. So that was very interesting. So then we go to the message of the day. And here's the message of the day picture. Oh, by the way, those were the cards, in case you wanted to see the visual reference of what I was just talking about. So here's the masculine underlying energy of the octopus teacher with all their followers over here, right? And then on the side, the lamb and the cobra watching them, along with the gazelle right here who's watching. And then this group came up as the shark. This is like the boxing match of Muhammad as the golden child. And then here are the different groups of like the big with the two littles, the big with the two littles, and the big with the two littles, which here's the twins with the hawk and the camel. So that was that picture. And then we have the message of the day here, which I'm going to give you now. Okay, and those four decks are the Animal Spirit deck, the Lenormand Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and then the Kipper deck. And so this was done at 10:25 last night. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 25 is the Knight of Wands. Very inspired, get up and go energy. The underlying energy was the beaver, the multiple faces. It's kind of like entering the fun house's energy as well. The Four of Cups reversed, and then the Journey card. The hardworking beaver, vulnerable with multiple faces, starting over, destined to the journey. The crow is watching the raccoon who's depressed, but still masked, while the eagle triggers the oyster to open up to the beaver, who gives a damn. Then at 10:37, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Cups, the magic adventure where they took the red pill with wise community of birds, with Atlas and the burden of the Queen of Cups' cross to bear and their bridges to cross, to the vulnerable place with multiple faces. The family, very happy here, and their self-satisfaction, working to understand why they're unable to function with the Hierophant causing suffering at night, howling to start over, like howling at the moon, getting their frustrations out, where to channel that energy to. With great fortune of the Emperor in courtship and the main female high priestess on a destined journey, which was coming up. I was watching The Matrix last night because I haven't watched it in years, and I kind of wanted to, I knew there would be some messages in there for me. But right as I said, on your destined journey, in the movie they were saying your journey. So I went back to write down the conversation they were having when they said your journey. So they were told to get sleep. And the other person says, for what? And then they say, for the journey, which that person didn't know they were going to be on. So for the journey, your journey. The first section here is the zebra, the stingray, who's plugged in to the matrix. Remember, plugged in and turned on in the matrix is about being in the matrix, right? So when you're plugged into the matrix, you need to unplug from the matrix. It's like an artificial chakra system in a way. So the zebra has direct connection through their third eye, the zebra being in abundant flow. And then the Emperor came up with the electromagnetic pulse, struggling to escape with dreams and gifts, or being gifted. The stingrays turned on, but remember they're plugged in, and the loving man is moving to peace, conflicted by bad health or bad health care, and struggling to find peace with their dreams or dream gift, or things related to health care here, or their own health or their own gifts, their ability to heal themselves. The second section here is the bee, the hyena, and the dragon. The busy bee and the insecure hyena with the oracle who's watching over them. The bee's all sunny in pursuit of happiness, and the Emperor reversed is concerned about their own martyrdom in order perhaps for them to do that. The hyena is leaving the hen house like the fox. It's like the hyena is trying to be the fox leaving the hen house. For bliss as main male, number 1. The dragon high priestess is dumping on the thief queen of wands. So the dragon high priestess is, what am I writing there? Anyway, it's just that energy of, it can be overwhelm or just dumping all your burdens, dumping all your emotions, whatever it is, that big dumping of it all on the thief, Queen of Wands, is coming up here. So the dragon high priestess doing that with the Queen of Wands, which can be another aspect of herself, and the hyena with the fox. So there's two things, the masculine dealing with two sides of himself, right? The hyena seeing themselves as the fox, leaving the hen house. For bliss as main male, number 1, where the feminine is like the dragon high priestess, dumping all this stuff on the Queen of Wands, thief, who may be another aspect of her, who is a thief because she stole his heart at 1132, which is justice and the 32 of the journey. So then the third section here is the lion, the crocodile, and the camel. The lion instructing the cat, the crocodile, and the camel here. The lion is spiritually mature and peaceful, with starting over, but imprisoned at the present or imprisoned by their gift or gifts. The crocodile fool is opening doors to heal with their lover, and the camel's taking a risk to fall with sudden thoughts of a woman, imprisoned by their lover in their thoughts. So again, someone's stealing someone else's heart. The fourth section here is the phoenix and the octopus. The phoenix rising, that's the root chakra, and the octo teacher, which is the 8, the teacher of the dance, right? The dance between the masculine and feminine, but also of inner and outer strength, as above, so below energy, as well as the manifesting of your dreams. The octopus teacher, Phoenix, is completely imbalanced, empty, and yet whole, because the empty vessel is the instrument for which you can then play music. The octo home is completely ungrounded with no water here. The phoenix is rising and diving in need of sharing the empty nest. The octopus, or 8 puss, as the emperor home with the divine feminine, with the weight of the world and no emotion. All pie in the sky, needing a nest to ground into. So one's imbalanced because they have an empty nest, and another one's empty because they need a nest to ground into. So it's referencing, when two have an opening for each other, that's when it comes together. One with the empty nest and one with a home. One with a mountain to climb and one with a world all their own, and a spaceship perhaps. And then ethers were coming up. So ether is AE of the ash, which is also light and Pleiadian. And then the THER, which has to do with the slaughter, or the energy of the onslaught of light. And that's in Albanian, by the way. The fifth section here is otter and fire ants, where the curious otter is all about the events. And they're like, what's everybody looking at? And they're so curious to find out. The otter romantic pup of the Queen of Cups reversed, or that romantic pup is the Queen of Cups reversed, but it can be a mother and child there too, or a mother and their pup. The crowd cutting cords with the beast, or flying overhead of an accident or a wrecking ball. The pup wounded warrior and the Queen of Cups reversed who can't watch and turns away, but of course the child wants to see. And that can be like the feminine watching a fight with the masculine, like they're all into it, and the feminine's like, I can't watch this crap, all right, it's too violent. As the Queen of Cups reversed can't watch and turns away, walking the dog and broke free, or there may be a pup. I hope that nobody's puppy got hurt, but I was getting the energy of a puppy running out in the street and getting hurt. Or the pup, there may be somebody's puppy might be watching this kind of stuff on TV, like a masculine pup versus a feminine pup who wouldn't want to watch it. It's really cute. Or the pup wrecked the place, acting out when mom left, and now that she's back, she's taking them for a walk after getting over the mess. The otter with the Knight of Cups community and the crowd, and with hermiting, along with hermiting changes, and this was at 12:21 at the end here, in perfect balance. So now we have the read in front of you, which is the twin flame read. And this is a general reading for all aspects of the twins. I'm going to show you the picture of that one. So this is the main read for the read in front of you from the Sirian Starseed deck. Okay. And then this is the complete read for you that's on the table with all 7 decks clarifying. Again, it is a lot of energy, so not every message is going to resonate with you. Okay. And that's okay, because that helps you practice your discernment of what applies to you and what doesn't. Are you going to let what somebody else says sway you to believe it's associated with you, or are you going to trust your own knowing? So that's important to know. All right, so I cut the deck at 4:44, very angelic realms, as a lot of wings were coming up today. The Sirian Starseed deck was cut and dealt for today. And at 4:55, which is the Emperor and the Truth of Excalibur, F chalices came up. So saying F, F those emotions, or the F of expanding and contracting, and instead the polarity staying in the middle and just reflecting the emotions and heartfelt things here. And then ES was coming up, which again is the feminine energy, and it spells S for Sophia, the divine Sophia. And again, contrasting the masculine emotions to the feminine emotions, of fighting and war and all that kind of stuff, to the feminine, who's much more within and soft and sweet. The read finished at 5:15 to 16, which is the 15 of the Devil, 16 of the Tower event, and the 5 of freedom, expansion, and change, but also the Hierophant, which has to do with commitment and societal norms, perhaps the old patriarchy here. We have the Starseed, which is the Fool, Indigo, which is the Magician. Those are the main 2 players in the read for the major arcana. And before the read is the Ascension, which is the World. And after the read is Reflection and the Star, which is Reflections, the Hermit, and Stars, the Star. We have 2 Pentacles, 3 Cups, and 4 Swords. There were no Wands in the main cards. And that's 2, 3, 4, shut the door. We also have the Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the King of Cups as the main players in the read. We have the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles before the read, which can be 2 sovereigns, one emotionally sovereign and one practically sovereign or financially sovereign. And then we have, after the read, the 9 of Swords, which is the one suffering in silence now. And the number 1 came up as significant, but we also had triple 9s. But that's kind of like in the background saying, now you need to always remember the triple 9s, which is about being all about compassion and completion and being whole within yourself. But we also have double 6s, 8s, and 10s. So the 6s were very significant here. 66 is the Queen of Pentacles. 1010 is that very high vibration to keep it high. Keep coming back to your heart over and over again. And then the 88 of the 2 twins dancing side by side within their own masculine and feminine, the crazy 8s. And again, that's also the X of the 2 lines, the 2 parallel lines of the 11 that come together, and the X is the 2 twins dancing, and each of those lines can be the 8, the infinity symbol as well, coming together in the bow tie. So what else came up here? 6, 7, 8 was significant. Lay them straight. So we're talking about alignment again. 1, 2, 3, jump. Again, the 1 of the Magician significant. The 16, the Tower is coming up here as well as the 810, which is 0 behind 81, which is the end of karma around the world. We have 68 of the Page of Pentacles, 89 of the Phi energy, expanding, contracting, or in the middle, reflecting. The 910, begin again. The 36 of the Atlas energy, the weight of the world. And that looks like all the numbers that were significant here, perhaps the Hangman as well. The code line was all about birth, individuality, and compassion. Like I said, it's a big nod to make sure you're in that high compassion energy all the time. They were broken up, and that will come out in the messages, the way the words were broken up. And again, Bi came up with this as well as birth. Bi, earth was separated, so the Bi Big Bird was coming up again. The Bi G, the Bi road or path. And then bisexualism was also coming up in the code line here. So again, birth, and that might be rebirth rather, and then individuality and compassion. So the messages that came up here were about the key to the time out times 2, the Christ energy times 2, the lovers who are one of 2, the Sophia with heaven in their eyes, synchronicities and twinkles on the bridge of peace, with the moral man who is toggling up into his divine feminine. Also, the key being the Nashville network. Tennessee is for lovers is coming up here for some reason. Or the key 10, which is also high vibration, or root 10 maybe, the key 10, or the trillion yous, the different parts of you, the Christ lovers, one of two, of the Sophia Rainbow Bridge, with heaven in their eyes on the bridge to peace, along with the moral man toggling up now. Okay, so also because of the definition for bi was coming up here in the code line, of course bisexualism comes up here today, but also an exclamation of surprise, the number 2. The bee comes up again. The butterfly and the bee are definitely coming up, and the birds and the bees. Seed and semen come up with this, as well as I and the I am presence. To die. The moth, the larva, so transformation to the butterfly. And the water, which came up in the read today, as well as to be, to exist. Also being bad, evil, ugly, and sad, sorrowful. A marble ball, to give birth to interrogate, or that's manipulation. To push back or sway, to jostle, to adjust things just a little bit. That came up as well. To vomit, throw up, and I was talking about nausea today, so somebody might be pregnant or sick and throwing up. And then water, year, to rock as well. So the right to hire was also coming up here. Let's see. To bake, somebody might be baking. And Ruth, and again, the cookie cutters were coming up. So the right to bake, maybe someone doesn't want someone to bake anymore because it makes them fat. But someone loves to bake, so they're going to continue to. But also the name Ruth was coming up. So I was just getting baby Ruth. A right to hire, regular trading hours also coming up, as well as the buddy and the descendants, the heirs to the throne, the guardians, which is also referencing the twig or the shoot in order to use to graft something else. To make, that's like alchemy, making one thing into something else. To be, to bake, and evil Ruth could be coming up, as well as sad Ruth, or to push back, regular trading hours, or to jostle the right to hire, in divide, you all, it's like you all, like the southernness, you-ality, in divide, you-ality, so there's something about the south and the north, or you all, I am grateful for you. The right to hire, you all, I grateful buddy, guardian of an heir to the throne, birthing individuality and or compassion here. So take that as it comes to you, whatever is associated with what came up here. And also Ralph Smart was coming up here as well. And also smart energy, right? The 5D stuff. So be careful with that as well. Or maybe there's new technology coming out to protect us from 5D, or from 5G rather. Sorry about that. That may be a Freudian slip. Because that's, in the Matrix, they also complain about being unplugged from the Matrix, right? Because it's not an easy life on the ship. The Page of Pentacles reversed is the underlying energy here, and starting the read. So here is as my finger's not doing well here on my little pointer, right? So the top card here with the minis on top. The top card is the Page of Pentacles reversed, and 5 cards down from the bottom up is the 10 of Cups reversed, the 2 of Pentacles upright, the 9 of Cups upright, 9 of Pentacles reversed, and then the Ascension card, which is the World upright, is beneath that Page of Pentacles. I was getting connection right there as well. The unhappy family, or lack of emotional fulfillment, performing or juggling to find self-satisfaction, but with powerlessness in ascension around the world at 801, which is the dance of the magician, or magician embodiment, in need of help, money, or opportunity. An offer of passion, creativity from the hanging man, or from a new perspective, to hang out on the journey with the Page of Cups reversed, the vulnerables, and or the rejected ones, right? The ones who were the odd man out. Happy or satisfied to present the truth to the Queen of Swords reversed and the wounded warrior here. The Star coming clean to the Queen of Wands reversed, who may be starting over, with the Page of Swords reversed, perhaps in negative self-talk at night, or sharing to end the nightmare, or with a sister, or suffering in silence and disconnect or at a distance, or the blockhead who drove over the tread rippers the wrong way, out of the parking lot or back in, or sharing blankets with those in the cold, which is interesting. That came up because I used to do that I think I brought that up recently. So I used to do Thanksgiving, and we used to give food out, but we'd also collect blankets and, like, you know, construction boots and things like that that would help people who are out in the cold in the winter. So this is coming up again, people giving blankets and sharing blankets or repurposing things for other things. Sharing blankets with those in the cold, repurposing old sheets and blankets for new use, sharing with everyone, but the one at a distance was coming up. So being a kind, giving person for everybody except for the one that you're most connected to. Right? So it's saying, like, not loving yourself first. So at 8:15, which is the dance of the devil or the shadow side, the King of Cups reversed with their dreams dashed perhaps and holding on, or perhaps being a little Scroogey there, or just trying to be more practical and trying to save those dashed dreams. A flood or an earthquake or a sinkhole was coming up, or all went to Haiti, or a Disney adventure perhaps. The bird taking off and all kicked out, or all went to shit with a faulty foundation, or just trying to hold on to some semblance of what it was, so it's not a total loss. Getting to know each other and keep an open mind came up for the twins, and then coming clean or getting clean, cleaning up with rumors to end the war in need of peace with new clarity, or finally cracked their seal. And the opening of the seal has been coming up a lot. So the 7 seals comes up here also, but also cracking open sealed records for adoption records, things like that, or things that were held secret in the family's past. And also just sealed letters and things may be opened, or people going into sealed documents or people's phones that don't belong to them. Somebody might be leaning over them just to see their cleavage. This is coming up for some reason in this read. And the truth put aside to get the information he wants. And this is someone like trying to sexualize someone or get them to believe they want to be with them, so they'll give them information. So it's a manipulation. I don't feel like it's sincere. But also in the same breath, no more flirting or showing off after takedown or pin-up and not finding the right foot to fit the slipper. Health comes up here, which is also health care with 71, which is the co-creation card. So perhaps dealing with health or healthcare issues and disconnect from the Queen of Wands reversed, and surrender of the 91, which is the central sun, the reflection of the 19, which is the sun, and surrendering to it, the central sun. And that could be somebody's son too, maybe the middle child. Oh, that's interesting. There's definitely a middle child thing coming up here, because I was just thinking that too, because my nephew's new daughter, I just realized this morning, is the same placement as me and my family, because they have 2 boys first, and I was the third, and I have 2 older brothers. So something about this, the middle child here, or not well in separation from each other. And that came up with Lee and Sherry too on their journey. I don't know if you follow their journey at all, but when he was having back surgery, I think it was, I forget what kind of surgery it was, the nurse called Sherry in because he kept, they kept almost losing him when he wasn't there, when she would leave, like he would flatline. So it's very interesting, like if one of the twins gets sick, the other twin needs to be there. So, or somebody, again, could not be well in separation from another. The Empress is up right here with this, reversed with the Strength reversed. So that could be a Leo Empress here, but not in a positive energy, or maybe she's just sick or ill. And then there's lack regarding that, weakness and detoxing, surrounding soulmates and innocent children. After a sudden event or epiphany or sexual exchange, perhaps somebody embarrassed, or lacking faith in the Page of Pentacles, which is their curiosity to manifest something new. We have Taurus, Leo, Capricorn, Scorpio, and Aries all reversed here. Not happy about the Page of Pentacles and the Peacock friend, right? They're not happy with the partner they chose. Cracking the code to toggle, or an anklet, and that could be a prison bracelet as well. Somebody on house arrest. Cracking the code to toggling or anklet, and baton twirling, which can reference the DNA strand. Dizzied seeing all the writing on the sky and on the walls, as the walls of Jericho come tumbling down. the tips of the toes and other tips, and tipped off, that could be a tip off as well, resisting falling, rising and allowing or allowance, rebirth and diving. Two heads are not better than two as one heart. The Page of Pentacles upright and the Page of Pentacles reversed, reflecting each other perfectly, in disconnect or at a distance, holding on until they can get more information out of them. The secret code to the health, perhaps, or co-creation. The underlying energy here that's standing up in the back row there is the lover's magic or sex magic, and the frustration of keeping cards close while getting over loss and regret for that big love, the Holy Grail. And that was at 837, the dance of unconditional love. As we go forward after this read is the energy of withholding, saving, or playing hardball with or from the Queen of Pentacles post-war, with the Queen of Cups who's reversed without love or dumped and heartbroken, with the Hermit wounded warrior in need of sunshine or vacation, defenseless to energies of self-satisfaction, in need of tools and magic to hang out with the twin flame, and Atlas in the 5D, connect, or choosing to work hard and rest and take breaks and or sleep together, meditate and pray together. The Queen of Pentacles is upright, withholding time, money, and effort or energy, and the Queen of Cups is reversed, withholding love post-war or until the enemy surrenders the war. So we literally have two women, and these can be your kids as well, they can be grown children, where the Five of Swords guy is in the middle, right? And that's the one they're making the asshole, right? Who's not giving them what they want. So the Queen of Pentacles is withholding the Ace of Pentacles, right? Practical things, time, money, and effort, where the Queen of Cups is withholding their love to upset the Five of Swords guys so much that they'll have to give up the war and give them what they want. And this is like children manipulating their father, who always wants to be the good guy, to get them to give them whatever they want when they want it. But then that's, taking the masculine's power away from them. And this is where he needs to change and stand up for himself and tell them, basically to go to hell. If you don't love me for who I am and not what I give you, then I don't need to deal with that. So it's kind of that energy. In separation from the Hermit, the wounded warrior is drained and defenseless, satisfied and yet insecure to hang with the twin flame and work hard and rest hard as well. Or work hard to lay things to rest. At 849, which is the dance of the 49, which is the Nine of Cups. In the recent past is the Page of Swords reversed between the Page of Pentacles upright and the Page of Pentacles reversed, which are identical, but just from two different perspectives. Spreading lies and rumors or negative self-talk, or a mouthy kid here. Presently, too overworked or not working out, with the Empress reversed, pushing buttons or dumping on an ex or lover reversed, maybe dumping on them. And the Ten of Cups reversed, family who's unhappy, or the end of an emotional cycle here, with dependent, Hierophant or Taurus, and or divorcee. We have Taurus reversed, Gemini, or Taurus reversed again. There could be two Tauruses here, but they're all reversed here. And Gemini could be twins. Grieving loss, regret, and or the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups both reversed here, with a negative past, a falling out, or dealing with difficult children, and trying to corral them or take the lead. Okay? And that could be too if you work with children, right? Trying to corral them or bring them in, trying to get them to see a certain understanding or learn something new. The foundation here is the Six of Pentacles upright, sharing after the war, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, which may have dysfunction in it, or a family loss, which also can just be misappropriation of funds in communities, states, worlds, whatever. Starting over, now that the worst is over, in need of strength, courage, and good health, and or healthy finances here. And this is all about Leo reversed. Now, in the now moment, is the Starseed reversed, in need of a big download or drop, or a fresh start, working too hard to divorce and be with the Divine Feminine as the world is coming full circle. Or this could be feeling like a slave to the Taurus reversed and the Pisces upright, which can be that Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, fencing them in. But it looks like they're both up and down, like, trying to confuse them to get them to surrender to their way or to their will. So the Queen of Pentacles upright and the Queen of Cups reversed Or Taurus Reversed can just refer to the Queen of Pentacles isn't a Taurus sun, but she's got Taurus in her chart. And then the Pisces upright could be the Queen of Cups, who is a Pisces, but in a negative aspect here. But falling on their face or from grace brings clarity in a moment of grace. Challenged by the Seven of Cups reversed, repeating steps or dumping multiple loads, emotional attachments, and the Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help, money, or opportunity at present, or perhaps they missed an opportunity, or needing help with getting a gift for someone, or perhaps with learning their own gifts. The Page of Wands reversed is uninspired. They could be all over the place with their energy as well, with Justice or Libra no longer confused, in need of sunshine, vacation from juggling and performing the daily duties without peace, or pets and kids out of control here. The Knight of Wands to the rescue, as usual, in dark night surprise, losing patience, temper, or being the fallen angel, trapped, imprisoned by the Knight of Wands, receiving an offer of sex or growth or a passion project from the Three of Cups, bad influences or a group. The Knight of Swords reversed, holding their tongue, with the High Priestess, secret keeper, for Justice or for Libra, and the Hierophant reversed, or church or religious elders who may be lashing out at a group of friends, or a third party offering passion to the Knight of Wands, or the Knight of Wands offering passion to the prisoner or captive or hostage, or the one who's got their hands tied or stuck and trapped, and the multiple Knight of Wands corralling them in. There could be two Knight of Wands. There could be twin, like young people, whether they're young adults or older teenagers, maybe trying to corral in the two fire signs, corralling in the kids, the younger ones, corralling in the Scorpio reversed, Sag reversed, shocked that they've been caught in the act as well. And then now in the present moment is the Ten of Swords reversed, the bliss at work, falling from grace with secret passion, with issues at work, with the Emperor and the Page of Pentacles, and the twin at night in bliss. The avoid dance, which is uncomfortable, So where someone was comfortable doing that avoid dance, right, pretending everything's fine, is becoming too uncomfortable now because someone's starting to act out, losing their patience, losing their temper, or being the fallen angel, like fell from grace or fell on their face or embarrassed themselves. And the stubborn bull, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, destined to lash out at the Queen of Cups reversed, who may be sleeping with the King of Pentacles reversed and the King of Swords upright, who's uncomfortable with this new information. We have Sagittarius, Taurus, Libra, frustrated and disconnected or at a distance, with the Queen of Pentacles in separation with clarity, and the Queen of Cups reversed here, who could be emotionally unavailable or detached, or she could be over-emotional and manipulative and or depressed or drinking too much at 917, which is the Hermit and the Star. The Queen of Pentacles in a three-way situation, refusing to wake up and recover without help or without an olive branch extended, right? Expecting other people to always fix them for themselves. So they don't have to do it themselves. The King of Swords is uncomfortable and unable to walk away from this new information that came in. At 919 is the Hermit and the Sun. Soon here, coming up, is the Eight of Swords upright, hiding in the woods perhaps after dumping multiple loads. This could be somebody dumping multiple loads of, branches in the woods as well, and fighting with a group about a bad call or the need to swallow their pride and recover one's self or let them back in, as the Page of Pentacles reversed, the Hermit reversed, and the Magician reversed, and the sister or them just suffering in silence, trying to end the nightmare around the world, with the Page of Cups reversed, or vulnerable children reaping rewards with the Page of Pentacles and the Divine Feminine upright, the Hermit reversed, and the Magician reversed, which can be someone going crazy and insecure, trying to come out about needing tools to deal with the situation, with the Aquarius, Virgo, and Gemini reversed, and Pisces upright here. Somebody rejected, perhaps. The Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed, with worthiness issues. So it can be children or even pets, or the inner child of an adult. The twin flames seeing themselves as the King of Cups reversed, with conditions of love, sharing with the devil or temptation, defenseless to the energies, and perhaps dead tired, or tired of playing the hardball with the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups offering love elsewhere. Playfulness and wedding comes up here. And also healing family issues. That your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. And that was interesting because in my chakras, my parents came up this morning in the throat chakra. So around the twins are how they're seen as indigo reversed in a falling out in the past with no offer. And now the Knight of Wands rushing in. Remember, they're the one who saves the day. Rushing in or going between the bad influence or the third party and or difficult kids, or falling out and then using that to get whatever they want. So if the kids had a falling out with the parent, then the kids using that to get whatever they want. Separation, heartbreak, and disappointment of the King of Wands upright in energetic exchange with a sad third party who's completely ignored for the Three of Cups who are not even there anymore or not worth the Knight of Wands' time, too busy catering to a falling out with the kids, a soulmate, or a negative past without the tools to deal with emotional situations perhaps. And the block here being the Six of Swords reversed with no peace, especially between the Magician reversed and the Emperor reversed, right? That's someone who could be very traditional and someone who's very alternative, and both in a negative space right now. Coming clean or always cleaning up. The Emperor may be feeling like they're always cleaning up the other's mess, or vice versa. Rebirth comes up here, individuality and compassion, but even more so, self-love today. Perhaps the man with two lovers lets go of one or both in a passionate, energetic exchange, and this can be children as well. With one, they may be in a passionate exchange with one while being with the other, or dumped, overwhelmed, or pushed to their emotional limit, imprisoned by negative self-talk, lying, spying, or rumors, or a child with a mouth. Or two, the Page of Swords reversed and the Knight of Swords reversed, who may be recovering from the High Priestess or secret, or the Justice in a divorce or spiritual marriage, and the High Priestess reaping rewards of the Chariot or the Merkaba, the vehicle of infiltration here, a way in. Purging without a message, working too hard, going crazy, coming out in separation, the Star, the Dream, the Healing, the Sister, the Suffering and Silence in order for union. Trapped by rumors of being dumped, that things are not working out, coming out in separation to heal and dream and end the nightmare, the home and or the stability here. The Page of Pentacles reversed may be sharing with the King of Cups reversed and the Indigo reversed and the Page of Swords reversed. So obviously they're either all unhappy about something or they're all in really negative energy. They're all coming up as a need for a fresh start. The challenge being here going downstairs again, or settling out with or repeating oneself or one's steps, trapped without peace, where the worst now is over, perhaps of purging or being dumped or pushed to the limit at work, losing their mind, in heartbreak of dreams dashed at 9:42, the Hermit and the Two of Cups. Surrendering to all that is for self-satisfaction without the need to be independently wealthy or in order to be complete. So it's saying someone learning how to feel complete without the dream they had from a long time ago that's not working out, that's not what it takes to feel whole, right? Because no matter how much you get, it's still not going to complete you if you're not connected with yourself. So surrendering to all that is for self-satisfaction without the need to be independently wealthy in order to be complete, with the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Swords reversed, perhaps with an invite or opportunity to share their embarrassment or betrayals and bliss with others, challenged by the steps that were missed. And perhaps that could help somebody else so that they don't miss those same steps. The King of Cups reversed, hiding and insecure without tools, in need of peace and blissful love, peaceful work, and to come out about losing it and the disappointment of Aquarius, dreams, or dream girl, or healing at sister's house, or the suffering and silence at home at 9:47, which is again the Hermit, and the synchronicities of the 47 are having lots of choices or heaven in their eyes. So again, the energy of red and blue pill of, unplugging from the matrix or staying in the matrix. And there may be an argument for both for different people. So obviously not everyone's going to take the red pill. Okay. And then remember that they talk about, in the Matrix, they talk about Zion being the last place on earth for the organic humans to be. So let's pull some oracle cards, see what comes up. Let's put these other away. Okay. 11451, which is the Magician, the 14 of the Temperance, the higher love, and then the 51 was the King of Swords, and it just turned 1500, which is the shadow side. And it's 133 on the clock, which is the Emperor, and the 33 of the Christ vibration, the unity consciousness and the Magician embodiment, using your abilities. All right, so from the Animal Spirit Guidebook. I love this deck. Okay. So from the Animal Spirit Guidebook, and I didn't roll the dice for you yet, I'll do that too. Take a breath. What is our message from today's readings? Okay, we have the Scorpion, and that one came out as the winner of the fight between the crocodile and the shark. They were the winner, ready to go and fight the stingray, which is the one plugged into the Matrix. Very interesting, right? Dancing like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and there is the Cobra teacher. When the student is ready, the teacher comes. So this one thinks they're going to win, right? Because they just won in the nose-to-nose fight. And here they're about to jump them. This could literally be someone jumping someone. But I don't feel like it's in a romantic way, but that could be. But this could be someone, you know, wanting to either trigger them or literally, you know, steal from them. They got their stinger out. So what's going on here? And this is very much representative of the Kundalini rising above the crown, the Cobra. When the student is ready, the teacher comes. So where they think they're going to give them a shock of their life, the teacher stays very calm and wise. And there's the shark. And the croc, look at that, perfect. So remember that the Scorpion won the match. So they're going on to fight the Cobra, but the Cobra's siding with the shark and the crocodile over here. And the Scorpion could be confused by that. They may kind of get diffused by, like, why are they over there? I just won this match over here. And why are you, as the Cobra, defending a shark and a crocodile anyway? It's like the teacher is, you know, open to everyone, not just the winner, right? Or the one that shocks them or that's willing to try to trigger them. And this was in the Matrix too, when they were working on their whatever, karate, jiu-jitsu, whatever they were doing. Right, the new student trying to spar with the teacher here and try to shock them with their abilities. But it takes wisdom to win as well, right? It's not always just about your physical abilities. This also can be the Cobra. This could be breaking up a fight, right? So these were going nose to nose, and maybe the Scorpion came in to tell on them, to get them in trouble. And then all of a sudden the Cobra sides with them and not with the Scorpion. And that could be a child who gets pissed off because they were tattletelling on these two fighting. And then the Cobra ends up siding with the others. Oh, that's interesting. And then here we have these guys coming up. Okay, so very much the activated third eye of the zebra. And here's the unicorn of the gate holder of the etheric realm, or the 5D gate holders, right, with the awakening world here. And then the slowpoke in between. So it's like these two coming together to, you know, really give intense teachings to the turtle to help them catch up. So it's like everybody coming together to help each other out as opposed to trying to get each other in trouble, which is why the Scorpion didn't get their way over there. Yep, see? We have like two people taking on one, right? So they're very sad in this dark energy too, like the turtle was. And here we have the two hearts as one, the very light energy of the dragonfly with the ground, the energy of the crow also guarding the collective awakening. So some of the bigger energies taking care of the ones who are slow and catching up or staying in the dark energies, really giving them some intense attention to perhaps help them to get to the next step. Okay, so look at that. And then we have the whale and the hawk with the bumblebee there, who may be struggling to keep their weight up. And that could be a real little guy with some of the older guys, because the whale can't handle that much because they're kind of tired. The bottom of the deck here is the oyster, which is about the pearl that's still cooking in there. The truth of the throat chakra. So again, that came up about forgiving your parents, because they, after all, gave you the oyster. They gave you the bacteria. So you might not have seen the dirt as being good at the time, but dirt is the bacteria that gets into the oyster that creates the pearl, which becomes the beauty that connects us all. So again, it's forgiving your parents for doing what they were supposed to do. And after all, they were plugged into the matrix at the time, right? And there's your solar plexus coming up again as well. The solar plexus and the throat chakra here, along with the matrix, right? Because the third chakra is also the ego, but it's transcending the ego to the higher self is the key here, with the truth of who you are and the pearl that needs to come out here and to be seen, right? You need to show that pearl. Don't be ashamed of the pearl that was caused by the bacteria and the bad things in your life, but the pearl that's the beauty of who you are because of all those things you experienced in your life. And let's see what the journey of love has to say. All right, so there's like intense guidance for those who have been struggling the most. Perhaps getting a little bit of extra help here. You know, that can be with schoolwork as well. It can be of a more practical nature too. Okay, what is our takeaway from the journey of love? Okay, then we have the womb of Gaia. Within nothing there is everything, which is the two of the feminine energy and the high priestess. And again, we're talking about the womb here of the earth. And then we have the eruption of the light of Gaia. This is the Hieros Gamos of the actual planet as opposed to an individual. Let's see what else is coming up here. There's two more cards that want to be seen. Hold on. The bottom of the deck is fire and ice. So again, here's the polarities, and this is like Jesus standing in the middle, reflecting, right? The red pill and blue pill, and staying in the middle instead with the 37 and unconditional love of fire and ice. And being light as a feather, right? The angelic energy of a higher love, and allowing yourself to fall and keeping it simple, really light. Stay in the middle instead of going to the drama on either side. Don't take sides. Stay in the middle and be unconditionally loving to both, which is kind of what was coming up in the message there. So we have those first two cards, and then these two cards wanted to be seen as well. 3 to 1, right? Ganging up on other people. And that was coming up in the read as well as the 3 of Cups group, ganging up on the one. Or the Scorpion energy ganging up on the others. And then the 10 of that high vibration of being in the vortex, right? 1 or 3 to 1, right? We had the parents and the child represented there. And then here's that, again, the alignment of the masculine and feminine staying in their own lanes until it's time for that lane to become one. So it's all you got to do is just go with the flow. The angel of Jupiter awakening, the 6 of the lovers, and that high vibration of 3 to 1 jump as well, and staying out of the drama, staying in the vortex, in a safe, calm, loving place, right, which is the womb. Because Gaia is also transcending into Hieros Gamos here, right? This is the 0 point field, right? The middle of the toroidal field where you have an apple core on either side. This is that trigger point in the middle, right, where you cross right here. It's like showing you that as the womb of the human, but also the Gaia is also transcending into Hieros Gamos. So you may be feeling this with the eclipses. Aha. All right, there's very much, look at that. Looks like this energy is going right into the next card. So I love how these cards go together that way. And I feel like this is like a huge underground tunnel as well. And then here's the awakening of the masculine and feminine all of a sudden in alignment. It's like the earth has to go to Hieros Gamos first. Within there's nothing. Within nothing there's everything, which is within the feminine there is the masculine. The 2 is the high priestess. And there's the action of the masculine, right? The womb is the holding. This is the communion, right? This is the Holy Grail, and the Holy Communion is the connection between the Grail and the communication from Source. To be in the vortex, 3 to 1 jump, in that high vibration, in perfect alignment, going with the flow of the chakra, the lovers. All right, so the first card out was within nothing, there's everything, and we also have the Scorpion. So what is about the Scorpion? Passionate, competitive, and tends toward isolation, the Scorpion. The Scorpion's a passionate and determined creature. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the Scorpion's heat festers and they focus on an unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burned. The Scorpion card says it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual fiery but fun self. When in balance, they're wild and free and fierce, but when they're out of balance, they can be jealous, resentful, and unresolved. To bring back into balance, honesty and forgiveness. And then for within nothing, there's everything is number 2. From a point of stillness, a moment, a complete universe is opening up to you, endlessly expanding. Your every thought and intention sends ripples of consciousness through the universe. What a creative being you are. You're sending consciousness into motion, bringing your creation into being. With every inner desire, with every whispered wish, the universe receives your yearning and aspirations with open arms, returning them to you as a manifestation in your life. What is really in your heart? Open your arms, sigh, speak your heart's truth aloud to the loving universe and receive it as your destiny manifesting now. This oracle brings you a message. Something that you want is on its way to you. It may seem to be coming out of nowhere with no sign on the horizon to give you hope, yet it is coming to you anyway. It is spiritual law that you cannot be denied the manifestation of your heart's desire. Trust and remain open to the tide of universal love rushing towards you, swelling within you now, as the mailman comes up the walk. The wind moves gently through the trees. Through trees, quiet water flows. Life's song calls softly. And so it is. Make sure you drink your water and get your rest and all that kind of stuff, and you're enjoying your nature. Let me roll the dice for you, see what came up for today for the twins. So we have Libra, and we have 11, which for me is justice and Libra again, and alignment. And then we have the moon, which is Cancer energy. So very motherly energy and very balancing energy with the 1-to-1 here. And also the moon, because we're eclipsing tonight. So there's, I don't know what it says in Sagittarius. I can't remember. Whatever the eclipse is in tonight, there's a lot of Libra coming up around it. I don't think it's in Libra though. So it's just referencing alignment and balance and the need to come into balance with the eclipse, right? Because we had one eclipse. It's like the second eclipse rebalances things again. But again, the moon is coming up as significant here as opposed to the sun, right? Because you're going to see the moon blocking out the sun. So again, referencing, that can reference the false light, but it can also reference family and lunar cycles of just the natural flow of things, of how we do things on Earth. So yeah, it's all about balance and alignment. And perhaps at night, for most of us, it's easier to balance our energies during the day when we're feeling energized rather than at night when we're feeling depleted. So maybe that too, working on how to balance yourself or align yourself in the evenings so you feel better. So again, make sure you drink plenty of water and get plenty of rest, joy in nature, and have fun with yourself. Rise and be loved, guys. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day. Breathe. Bye.